Yeah. It looks good to me.
All right. All right, all right.
Why does it say offline now? On it's taking a while to connect. This has me worried.
Nope, I can see it.
Can you?
Yep, I sure can.
That's weird. Because usually it'll give me a message and it'll go offline and then it'll go sending data and then an eyeball comes up.
Okay.
And that's how I know that it's live.
right.
But now it's just saying offline on my side. But you're saying that you can
I can
see
see
it.
us. I sure can.
So we're live on Facebook, Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, YouTube, Porchcast Pottstown.
Yeah, I don't see the YouTube yet. But that usually takes a couple more seconds to pop through
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
See every day, Mike. It's
It's an
something.
adventure every day.
Join
We
the
never
Navy.
know.
Join
It's
the
an
Navy.
adventure.
Right.
I was going to join the Army.
There we go.
I was
Yeah.
all signed up and recruited and everything else. And then Desert One started up.
So that
And I
was like
got
right after you graduated high school? right? You graduated
right as I was graduating. high
92,
school.
you said?
Well, 91 is when Desert One kind of started.
Right.
So you can start the recruiting process when you are 17. So I did. And nobody at my family was really all that excited about me joining the Army. And but I was going to do it.
Right.
And then the day that the war started, I got so sick. I got sick as a dog. Couldn't even stand up. And I'm watching all these bombs drop and explosions and everything else. And you know when you have a fever, you're kind of like
Delirious.
delirious. And I'm watching all this happen. And I'm like, maybe not.
Maybe I can find another way to serve my country, right?
Yeah. And ultimately I did, you know.
Right.
I wound up being a cop for 15 years.
Right.
But
Right. There's all sorts of ways to serve.
I figured that was a sign.
Yeah.
But Mike here
Mm-hmm.
did take the plunge, signed the papers, worked for the man.
Why don't you introduce our guest?
Mike Murphy is one of the main, what do you want to call yourself? Mover and shaker, coordinator, field marshal, general? Like, just give yourself a title. It doesn't matter.
We like to do that here. We just randomly give titles.
Jack all trades, master of none.
All right.
Okay. But specifically is here today to talk about Veterans Island Project and all the great things that are going on down at Memorial Park on Veterans Island. You got a lot going on down there.
Sir.
You're looking for some help with fundraising to finish some of the projects that you have started. You have events going on in that regard. And then you also, there's a relationship with Red Horse Motoring Club, right?
Yes, sir.
So we want to get into that, man. Start where you want. Let's start with a recap of what just happened this past weekend. How did that go for you?
Right.
You had the drive-through photo booth, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it actually started with a car show about 2 years ago. And then when COVID started, naturally, we had to stop everything. And we're still thinking about the car show, but it was going to be too much with COVID going on. So we hooked up with one of the members there, Jerry Kiefer. He's a professional photographer. And he came up with the idea of doing a drive-through photo booth. So that's what we did. You know, this way we could keep the garage doors open, there's fresh air.
Right.
You know, cars can park outside. So we gave it a shot. And thank goodness the weather wasn't the best. I mean, people came out. A lot of cars. I think we had like 40 signed up.
Okay.
And then like another 20 actually came that day.
That's great.
Yeah, because you had to go online and register.
Right.
Jerry set it up with a link where you actually came in, you locked in from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you had a time slot. And we had some people come like from Delaware, like upper parts of Pennsylvania. But there's also a lot of other avenues in there because now we have to figure out, so he couldn't produce the pictures right then. So now
Gotcha.
they have to come back or they had to pay an extra fee to have their glossy photo in a matte frame. I think it's a 12 by 14, or no, 12 by 8 photo with a
Okay.
matte.
Okay.
So people can that actually be actually mailed
Right. So they could either
people.
pay to have it mailed to them, or they can come back,
this weekend.
pick it up. Yeah. Bring them
And
back
then-
into town another time.
Yeah.
And then there was a contest portion of that too, right? So what are you going to do? Pick some of the best pictures or the best cars or whatever, the hottest chick? I mean, how's that going to work?
Well, we decided that we were going to. So it's a support of Veterans Island, so we figured let's do something military related. So we came up with an idea of doing the 5 military branches: Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard. So Jerry got this guy. He knows his father was a Vietnam vet. I can't exactly remember the name of the guy's company, but anyway, he made these trophies and he welded them, handmade, and they all represent the branches. Like the Army is like a tank. He took parts of a car, like the bottom base is a piston, and then built it up with, spark plugs and different gears
Yeah.
and things like that. And then the Navy actually has an anchor. The Marine, he took the Mack dog off of a Mack truck
Yeah.
and put that on the top. And then the Air Force is a plane, and then Coast Guard is a double wing prop. It's called a Chinook.
Uh-huh. So those were the prizes for the best photos or the best car or whatever
so
the different categories are.
We're still, we're pretty much decided of who the 5 winners are going to be.
Okay.
Plus, we also did a motorcycle one. So
Okay.
this weekend, Jerry's in the process of, he's going to put an email out and notify who are going to be the 5 winners of the branches, and then the 1 motorcycle winner. And they'll come back, the Red Horse, this weekend and receive their trophy.
And for people that are watching, the Red Horse Motor Club is the former Ludwig Motors, right at the corner of 3rd and Hanover Street. So that's what he's referring to. And if you have not been in there, if you ever get an opportunity to go to the Red Horse Motor Club, check it out. It's pretty impressive. They did a good job.
Yeah. So explain a little bit what it is. It's a private club, but they also have event space available, right?
It's a private club, so members pay a monthly fee to come there. And the owner, Chuck Harders, he's a great guy. Him and 2 of their partners, Steve Everett and Dan Glennon. It was mainly Chuck's idea, I believe. He was always a collector of cars. It's kind of like going into American Pickers. He has vintage cars, motorcycles, gas pumps, gas station signs and that, and he spread it all about. There's a couple bar areas in there and assembly areas. So we have had so far a couple weddings. 2 weeks ago we had like a baby shower there.
Yeah, they did a beautiful job with the how they laid it out and set it up. It's really a great space. It's clean and big and just interesting. It's really
I've been there
really creative use.
I've been there for several different community functions. The Rotary
Mixers and stuff.
business-to-business mixer, Tri-County Chamber of Commerce, I think, had a business card exchange there.
The Rotary.
Yeah, with Rotary, Tri-County Chamber of Commerce. I got invited to a couple of different Christmas parties for some businesses and stuff. It's a great place. One of the first times I met you, you were telling me about how the wood from the bar on the 2nd floor came from a carriage house that was being demolished in Philadelphia. And I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
neat,
cool.
that reuse and recycle. And they did a great job. It's a really nice touch in that 2nd floor bar.
Yeah, all the wood on the walls, like you said, he got it from a carriage house down in Philadelphia. I think it's from like the early 1900s. But then even the bar itself, I mean, it's like 4-inch pieces of wood
Yeah.
that came from this carriage house, and they constructed this beautiful bar and all the backdrop of even the back frame of the bar.
Yeah.
From this carriage house.
Yeah.
And upstairs, it's upstairs. It used to be where Lubbock Motors had like all their parts and motors, because in the back is like a crane where they used to hoist up like the heavier parts.
Right.
Probably
Cool.
like motors and transmissions and things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's like the ultimate man cave or female cave, whatever you want to call it. Just hang out, socialize,
Yeah.
and have like events there.
I've always had a good time there.
Yeah.
Every time I've been there, it's been I've had a good time. It's an interesting place, and it's good to see a place that was kind of not
Well, it
that
was
it wasn't
empty.
being used.
It was
well,
empty
it was
for a long
it was an
time, though,
auction
right?
house. It was an auction house, but it was
Oh, that's right.
underutilized.
I forgot about that.
I think the use for it now is probably getting a little bit more consistent use, and people from the community can actually get inside of that building and do some network. And then obviously the members of it. That's part of the reason why you become a member at a club is for the networking
Right.
opportunities, right?
Great networking. A lot of good people go there, and always brainstorming, thinking of ideas. Hey, we have a bunch of realtors down there, people that sell cars and things like that, and different avenue of everything, so everybody can like kind of learn off each other.
Right.
It's good stuff, especially the Pottstown. Help Pottstown build too and revitalize it too at the same
Right.
time.
And that's a great segue. So from the Red Horse Motor Club and the event that you just had there on Saturday, let's get into some of the stuff that you're doing about fixing up the memorials at a memorial park. Most people from Pottstown are familiar with the island. As you and I were discussing before the show, just about everybody in Pottstown has a story about going down to Memorial Park and climbing around on the cannon or going fishing at the park or hanging out at the pavilion or whatever the case may be. So how did you get involved with what was going on down there to try to revitalize that park and revitalize those memorials down there?
Well, give all the kudos to Kathy Peretti. She's the one who came. She brainstormed the
Mhm.
idea and started a 501c3. And she just came to me knowing that I was a veteran, Pottstown guy, been around, a member of the VFW and American Legion in town. And she just told me her idea of how she wanted to clean up the islands because Park and Rex is kind of like a little overwhelmed at times. And being a veteran, I want to see the islands still be preserved because they need a little bit of TLC down there. So I buddied up with her, and so this would be the 6 years. So her main thing is Pottstown Veterans Community Day, where we recognize like 3 to 4 veterans that served our country, and then they live in the Pottstown area, and they've done great achievements and contributions. We like a whole big ceremony down there, but the main thing is the memorials. And so about 2 years ago is where I think it really set off for me. I went on vacation and I came back, and I went down the aisle. I used to like going down there walking around like most people do.
Yeah.
And I walked up in the cannon, which everybody knows about the World War II cannon, 1944 anti-tank. Somebody spray painted it all up,
Yeah.
and it just got to me right there. I was just, I can't believe this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I got on the phone. I'm gonna send a phone or an email, and I sent something to the Pottstown Mercury, and I just explained to them, hey, the cannon got vandalized, and they're looking for some funds to help us out. So ironically, this guy calls me up from JTech. Well, JTech is a company down in Eagle, Pennsylvania, down 100. And the guy goes, my son's a Marine. He says, I can't see that cannon look like that. He came over with a flatbed trailer. We pulled it out of the mud. The
Yeah,
tires,
it was
Wow.
starting to sink down in. Yeah.
yeah, it sunk all in. The tires were flat, dry rotted. The rims were all rusty. And it was abused. It just sat there by the South End bridge. He came down, and it was actually still like anchored in the mud. Put a hook on it, and somehow he like actually literally dragged it on this tilt flatbed
Right.
and took it away down to his company. He had it sandblasted down to the bare metal. And I went down and seen it. And the green on it was not really the OD green color of 1944. So we shopped around, and thankfully Sherman Williams donated the paint.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a little bit of homework. I learned a lot, getting the paint, and then I had to shop around. I couldn't find the exact. They used these combat rims and tires back then. I just couldn't find exactly them, but I found a place down in Philly that had rims and tires that matched up to it pretty well. And I said something to JTech, and they actually put the money up and paid for it. And they spray painted it. So 2 years ago, Memorial Day, here they put in a flatbed trailer, red, white, blue streamers, and we had
Yeah.
the Pottstown Memorial Day parade.
Nice.
Okay.
Rolled it straight down High Street,
Yeah.
down to Manatoni, took it down to the park. We had our traditional Memorial Day ceremony, and at the same time, the guys were lowering it down. So we decided that we're going to put it by the World War II memorial.
Right.
That's where it needed to be. It didn't
The
need to
wall
be.
Yeah,
of
that
fame.
makes
The wall of
sense.
what do they call it? The wall of fame, right? Or the honor roll wall?
Well, that's
Yeah.
something additional.
Okay.
So
Wh-
I got a hold of Rick Dulles. He's a local contractor. Good guy. He's been around for many, many years. And we decided to do a concrete pad.
Okay.
So finally it's going to be on a home. It's right next to the World War II Memorial.
Which one's the World War II?
It's the one that Gabe Feeney started.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Gabe Feeney was a World War II vet. He started it older in life, but he got some donations and things like that. But he struggled for a few years, but he got the wall done.
Yeah.
And it has plaques on both sides of the wall that has men and women's names who served
Mm-hmm.
in
From
World War II.
Pottstown, right?
Directly in the Pottstown area. Because a lot of guys say, hey, my name's not on there, which you had to be from Pottstown or registered through Norristown. doing the
Okay.
registry.
Right.
I gotcha.
So that's what we decided. So Rick Dulles, we put a brand new concrete pad there, put a fence around it. If we put the fence around it, we actually dropped the cannon on this concrete slab now, and he has a fence around it and everything. So it sits there, and then Kathy got a plaque made up and says, it's a World War II anti-tank gun used during presidential inaugurations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a show. It's actually
It's
Even
kind of
everybody-
always been a showpiece, maybe.
it's always been, but it's not a playground anymore.
Yeah, but now it's
Right,
it's more
right.
revered. It's
Yes.
protected and revered. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of back to its original status of being a symbol of honor,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
So then you have some other things going on down there. Do you want to tell people about the bricks that are going on and some of the different improvements that you're going to be doing with those bricks and the walkways and whatnot?
Okay. So Kathy came up with the idea, Kathy Peretti, the president, that she wants to connect the wall in the World War II memorial to the cannon, because there's like grass there, and it kind of was always muddy.
Right.
So we're in the process now of putting a concrete foundation with a sidewalk all the way around the cannon now, because there was like a fence there. You were like standing in the grass, but the bricks are going to be in between there. It'd be like a walkway. So anybody who's a veteran can buy a brick in honor and memory of their veteran. Or also even an organization, that would want to put their name on there, because, we like to have, we like to be a community project, you know what I mean? Even
Right.
though we're veterans and we want to honor veterans, but also this is Pottstown, you know what I mean? We can also show some pride and a piece into this World War II memorial that Gabe Feeney started so many years ago. But he's passed, he passed, so he's no longer with us, but that's our vision, to keep his dream going forward, the World War II memorial. Because the Vietnam Memorial is complete. I mean, them guys did a great job 25 years ago. Thank the Frank Strunk and the VVA 565. They're the Vietnam Veterans of America.
And that was another project down there that was sponsored. They had sponsored bricks and everything. If you go on to the bandstand down there, the bandstand has sponsored bricks. So you're continuing kind of a Pottstown tradition to help fix up and maintain Memorial Park. That's been a Pottstown. I remember going down to the old train station when I was just a little tiny kid and watching my dad write his name into the wet bricks. You wrote your name into the wet brick, and then they fired the bricks.
Cool.
And if you go onto the bandstand down there, the whole floor of the bandstand is made out of these sponsored bricks. So what Mike and his friends at the Veterans Memorial doing, it's an extension of some Pottstown history, some
I just looked at
Pottstown
the
tradition.
I just posted
That's
in the chat. I posted the link to the Veterans Island Project Facebook page, and there's some pretty recent pictures on there of the base around the cannon where they're tamping down the rocks to be able to lay the bricks. So if you hop over to the Facebook page, you can see the cannon in its restored glory and the base that it's sitting on, and then how it's surrounded by where the bricks are going to be laid. So it looks really great.
Yeah, I'd like
It's going to
follow
look
up
great
on
when
that,
it's finished.
Amy.
Yeah.
So yesterday we did finish all the framing up. So on Thursday we're actually going to pour the concrete for the foundation of where these bricks are going to lay, between the cannon and the wall. So yeah, the bricks are for purchase. If you're interested, like Amy said, go to our Facebook page or all the information's there.
Yeah. So
as
on the
donation page.
on the page is like under the information. There's Kathy's email address. So if you have questions or so if somebody wants to buy a brick, they're how much are they, Mike? 100, 125? What are they?
Yes, there's $100.
$100. So $100 for a brick, and I don't see the form, but you can certainly email Kathy and let her know that you want.
I have an electronic copy of the form. I don't remember if I was able to get it posted up on my Facebook page or not, but directly after the show, sometime this evening, I'll put the order form up on Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate.
Okay.
So if you go back to my business page, I'll have it pinned up there so that you can get an order form for those bricks.
Right, and so
and
you don't need to be a veteran
away,
to buy a brick, or
No.
the brick does not have to be in honor of or in memory of somebody, right? You can just purchase a brick as a donation with your name or your family name or your business name, right?
Yep.
Okay, great.
We're trying. Our main focus was to get the veterans, in memory of, honor them. But we're kind of open up to organizations so they feel like they're part of the project.
Sure.
Now, are you taking all veterans, or are you trying to stick with the Pottstown veterans again?
No.
Any veteran?
We're not discriminating against any veteran. A veteran is a veteran. Anybody who served, even a policeman or a fireman, if they want to put a brick down there. We want this to be a Pottstown pride, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody can feel part of it, and Gabe Feeney's dream is still going to keep going forward.
Keep moving.
Yep.
I think I'm going to do it. Both of my grandfathers, I think. One was in the Navy and one was in the Army. So maybe I'll get them each a brick.
Very nice.
Right?
Outstanding.
Yeah. I know, I don't want to say too much, but I know another person who's getting a brick.
Okay.
I don't know if he knows it yet, but
Okay.
he's getting one.
We'll keep it zipped. We'll keep it zipped on the brick. So I see you
Now,
put up a couple pictures there on the
I did.
slideshow.
So I put up the slideshow to the Vietnam Memorial. That was the one picture slideshow that we had. And I wanted to get some other pictures. Of course, we sat down right at the last minute, and I didn't get them done. But go over to the Veterans Island Facebook page and look at what they're doing down there. You'll see the brick walkway there at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And then there's a picture of the Vietnam Memorial. That is the only, at the time it was installed, now things could have changed over history, but according to the research that I did last Memorial Day, that was the first interactive Vietnam memorial in the United States of America, right here in Pottstown. The very first one. You can actually go up, and I always effing get choked up. You can go up and you can give that soldier a pound.
Right, you can grab, and that's my hand right there in the picture. Like,
Amy's demonstrating how you can interact with that memorial.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful. The park is beautiful, and it's really. You forget that you're right in the middle of downtown when you're there, because it's really serene and kind of, it feels really isolated. It feels like you're in the country. It's got the river going around it in the creek, and it's really quiet, and it's beautiful, and it's very moving. I mean, I was really moved when I went down there last year. It was the first time I had really walked through that park to view it as a memorial, as opposed to just walking through for an event or being there for some sort of a something happening. So if you haven't been down there, take a walk and just spend a half an hour walking around and paying respects to the veterans that have served our country. It's really it's a beautiful memorial and a beautiful park. We're really fortunate to have it here in town.
Absolutely. And I think too, and this was, I know, Mike, you want to talk about this a little bit, or at least what you know, and this has been my experience with it too. Over time, there's been various projects down there at Memorial Park since its inception as a Memorial Park, and some of those memorials have been kind of lost to time. And I remember discovering some of them when I was a kid, kind of overgrown and tucked away along the wall there next to the pavilion. And I think it's great that we now have an organization that's dedicated to maintaining that place, revitalizing it, installing new memorials. That's great. It shows that the park is alive, the town is alive, or coming back to life. You want to tell us a little bit about some of the history behind some of those maybe quote unquote hidden memorials that are down there?
I like to go back once.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
talking about the bandstand.
Mm-hmm.
So the bandstand, when I was a kid, you're talking about the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 16 years old, it was the bicentennial in Pottstown. It was
Yes.
250 years. So Mrs. McPie's and the Ambucks paid for these bricks, and I think you still pay like $1 donation, and then they heated them up. But I went down there one day and I found my brick, and I signed my name. It says Murph 76. But the bricks are the foundation of the bandstand. So we went down there, Gabe Feeney's son, Ron Feeney, and he's a mason. A lot of the bricks were starting to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided, we took like 15, 20 of them out. We had to break them out and replace them with just plain bricks. We hated to do it, but we had to do that. And I'm down there, I'm looking. So on the wall, there's two big plaques, and it says, in memory of the armed forces during this time. And then on the bottom, it said dedicated in 1953 by the Kiwanis Club.
Okay.
Well, what war was in the 1950s? The Korean War.
Korean War, right.
So Kathy's in the midst right now. We're trying to reach out to the Kiwanis Club, and we want to rededicate that and call that the Korean War Memorial, the Forgotten War that nobody ever talks about.
Right.
So what we did earlier this year, I got a hold of Bill Kane. He's really good. And so on the end of, on both walls, the north wall and the south wall, there was these poles. Years ago, they must have been used for maybe a canopy or something. And he figured out how we can make a flagpole.
Okay.
Put some nipples on it. We ran it up like another 20 feet. So now on the north side is the American flag. On the south end is the POW MIA flag. And on the top, you can buy those solar lights.
Yeah.
So now it looks like a memorial.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's the bandstand, and we got the 1976 bricks that are on the floor.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Pottstown, and we're remembering the Korean veterans. So that's something else that we're working towards in the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got.
I've gone down there too. I've done that same little exercise, gone down there and looked around until I found my brick. I don't know where it is anymore, but I'll have to see if I can find it again.
Yeah, we'll spend probably a day down there trying to find it.
Yeah, do you have like a general idea? Like it's in this quadrant? You have no idea?
No, I'm going to
Yeah.
have to start all over.
Right. Maybe take you an hour or so to go through all those bricks and find it.
Take some beers down with you.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to put them in like a...
Yeah, put them in a Coke can. Put them in
Yeah.
a thermos. Put them in a Go Forth cup.
So, I mean, that's just an example of some of the hidden memorials down there, right? Like, you got to really take some time and look around and dig around down there. The ones that I remember finding are if you're standing in the center of the island and you're facing the pavilion, off to the right, there's a couple of steps
Yeah.
that go down
Yep.
to a bench that's built into that wall, and there's some bronze plaques
Yeah.
around that wall that commemorate different veterans. I think some of them go back to World War One. I think there's some World War One plaques back there.
The one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're talking about that wall there. It's a memory of Jacob Bean, and it says Varsity Club. So I did a little bit of research on it. Here in 1944, he was drafted into the war, and he was learning to be a pilot up in Rhode Island. And he was in a training exercise, and the plane went down, and he crashed and burned. But he was a swimmer at the Varsity Club. What else? And that used to be a wall. When I was a kid, there used to be water went all the way around that island.
Yeah, I remember that too.
We used to
yeah.
dive off that wall into the water right there.
Okay.
And right there is Jacob Bean's memorial.
So that
It's
was
fantastic. So it's still there. So 2 years ago we went down there. It was all grown in. The bushes were all
Yeah.
down. So we hooked up with the Travis Mannion Foundation. Travis Mannion was a Marine, was killed over in Iraq, and he started this foundation in memory of him. And they do a lot of motivation speaking. So they made Veterans Island part of their legacy project. So I'm probably going to jump the gun here, but they come down and they bring these landscapers down there from Brightview, and they cleared all those bushes out. So now you can see Jacob Bean's memorial, because it was like hidden in the shrubs there.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So I
That's
guess that
great.
was like built as like a little swimming deck or a swimming platform in his memory.
Because he was a swimmer.
Because he was a swimmer.
Apparently the swimming club went out and they got like a $2,000 donation. That was big money back
Yeah,
then.
sure, yeah.
Because it's a brass plate. It's still on the wall. You know. It's,
Yeah.
It's kind
It's
of
big
rustic.
money now. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a nice donation.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I remember finding that when I was a kid.
So yeah, and there used to be water all
Yeah, the
down
water
there,
used
right?
to flow around, but over the course of time, stream beds change and the flow changes, and the flow of water just doesn't come through there the way it used to. I remember that too. When I was a kid, the water used to flow on each side, but then over time, it just kind of filled in.
Yeah, because I walked all around there when I was down there last year, and I was like, "This looks like there used to be water here."
There
Yeah.
absolutely was.
So as you come up the steps from Jacob Bean's Memorial, there's a bush there, and we were down there cleaning around one day. There's a plaque down there. Yes, in memory of the armed forces
Mm-hmm.
from from World War II.
Okay.
And who made it, and who put the money up? The Lions Club.
Okay.
So we got the Kiwanis Club, the Lions Club, the Ambucks.
Mm-hmm.
They all have a plaque down there in memory of the armed forces.
Right on.
So they're hidden back in there.
Yeah,
even
you
though
got-
they're even there. The most newest one, if I don't get the name wrong, but they put a bench there, like the Compassionate Friends
yes,
of the Tri.
I saw.
County.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. It's like a park bench that's
Right.
installed there. Yeah, and that's one of the newest installations.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's you could sit there and look like down to the creek area.
Right.
The creek's right there.
Yeah, that's like the area that I grew up going fishing, man.
So
My
what
brother
else
and
do
I.
we have the pavilion too,
Right.
and that was cleaned up years ago by a Cub Scout group here from Pottstown, and the guy who did it was Alan Ebersol. We went to high school together. He was a Cub Scout leader at that time, or Boy Scouts. I think maybe it was Boy Scouts.
Okay.
I know, Alan, you're probably going to be mad at me because I probably messed it up, but I remembered you, Alan. You were the nucleus behind that
So the
project.
pavilion is the with the picnic tables under it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Right. Not to be confused with the bandstand, which is
No,
where
the
bricks are.
bandstand is across from
Yeah,
the
and that
pavilion.
pavilion is huge.
You can still rent it out for
Yep.
parties and stuff like that.
Yep.
And when I was on the police force, that's where the fishing derby was headquartered. We operated the whole fishing derby out of the pavilion,
Right.
which I believe is on May 15th. I wore
You're
it.
wearing your fishing
I did.
derby
I wore
shirt.
it. There was a method to my madness
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Fishing derby 2010, 11 years
Yeah,
ago.
11 years ago.
Still fits. Right.
Kinda. But I guess long story short is we're giving you some ideas and some ways that you can get involved with restoring and preserving Veterans Island at Memorial Park. If nothing else, we're giving you some ideas of a little bit of a scavenger hunt if you want to go around there and take some time,
Yeah,
dig
it's great.
around,
Like,
poke
take your
around.
kids down there.
You literally might discover
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Well, the Pokemon people are always down there.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yes,
and they're
it's
probably discovering
Pokemon
these
style.
memorials too.
Yeah, but take the kids down there, walk around, because there are World War II and Korean War and Vietnam War memorials. Is there a World War One down there?
I'm not sure. I thought the Bean one was World War One, but
No, he was World War-
that's
World War
World War
II.
Two.
Right. There might be World War One stuff over here between the churches.
That's revolution. You want to go?
Yeah,
That's
I went there when I
Revolutionary
did
War.
my big tour on
Of
Memorial
memorials?
Day. Yeah, went down to Memorial, went down to the island, and then I went over to the grassy knoll, if you will, between Emmanuel and Zion.
Zion.
And there's
Rev
super
War.
really old, like probably the oldest graves in Pottstown, I would think.
Yeah, some
Over
of
there.
them. Yep.
Kind of our big plan was, but I don't know if it ever happened in our lifetime or Kathy's, but down at Evans and High Street is that Civil War soldier.
Yes, the Grand Army of the Republic soldier.
Beautiful
right across from
statue.
Rite
I
Aids,
mean,
right?
There's a story, and we could talk about that thing for a day.
Yeah, we
But
have.
We have you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we thought maybe sometime in the future, near whenever, but maybe we can move it down to the park. But it seems to be in a good place for right now.
It is. It seems like it's in a good place. And a few years ago, I guess it's been a lot of years ago now, but they fixed it up because at one point it had been all oxidized, because it's copper and it was green. They cleaned that all up. They put some kind of coating on it in order to keep it from getting oxidized again. That's been well over 20 years since they because that statue used to be next to the library.
Yes.
And then they moved it from the library over there to Evans Street. now you probably know this, but I'll tell the viewers that statue at one point in time was in front of where Lastic Furniture is now, and it was hooked up to a well.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look around the base of that statue, there's some fountains, and those fountains were for dogs and horses
Yes.
to come and get a drink. And if you look back at some of the old pictures of Pottstown, you can see that. You can see those fountains.
What time frame would that
around
have
there.
been, Matt?
I want to say that was directly after the Civil War, because there was a big movement in the late 1880s and early 1890s where this Grand Army of the Republic was kind of a benevolent organization that was working to take care of Civil War veterans. Remember, we talked about Annie Wittenmeyer, and she was part of this movement that happened in the 1880s and 1890s to make sure that the Civil War veterans were taken care of.
Right.
Because a lot of those Civil War soldiers were coming from the various states. Some of those Civil War soldiers were even still coming from what we today would call militias, like local military units that were put together. So what had to happen was the federal government had to be petitioned in order to make sure that those veterans that fought in the Civil War got what was owed to them. So I would imagine that was probably put together sometime in the late 1880s or early 1890s.
We should get Todd Bainbridge on it, see if he can find a picture of that statue in front of Lastic's.
There is one. The Pottstown Historical Society has it, and I've seen it posted around in different places around Pottstown. It might be, if you look at some of the pictures up at Applebee's, it might be there. I know it's on display someplace because I've seen it multiple times.
All right, Deb Penrod or Todd Bainbridge, if you're watching.
Hook us up.
Hook us up. Let us see that photo.
And one last memorial I just remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you come over the bridge and you drive back towards the pavilion, there's like a piece of ground there. It's like a circle. And
Yes.
It's called the Blue Star Highway. And as a star they have it painted blue. And I think the garden club, they're a group of ladies that they maintain it because there's beautiful flowers in there and they're just starting to bloom right now.
Right.
So that's a beautiful.
That's another
Oh,
one.
that's like
addition.
there's like
It's
like a
turnaround.
roundabout.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Right next to the pavilion.
Yep.
I know now. When he starts talking about them,
Right.
they
It's all
come
coming
back into my mind.
All coming
Yeah.
back from your childhood romping.
So tell us we talked about what happened last weekend. We talked about your current fundraisers. Tell us what's coming up. What are your next big events or important events that you want to tell people to come out and check out?
Well, we'll be getting ready for Memorial Day. As you know, the borough did approve a parade, but it's too short of a notice, and then there's a big list of COVID restriction list you have to come up with.
Yep.
So we're possibly going to put together like a motorcade. We'll probably do the exact same thing, meet the Goodwill Firehouse at 10 o'clock, and we'll park along the Hill School there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like in the street.
Along a wall. Yeah.
Along the wall there. And we did something similar to that last year. We had around like maybe 20, 30 cars, and then we drove down High Street, and the fire trucks, they have like a device where they can trigger all the red lights. So all the red lights were green. We went right down High Street to Manatoni, and then went into the island, and we did a small little ceremony. So that's kind of our idea of what we want to do this year. You know, maybe next year we'll have the real grand finale parade and all that.
Right.
But so we end up at Vets Island. So remember that name, Vets Island. That's where we're trying to rename it, because it wasn't an island at one time. We have all these memorials down there, but you know, also we want the community involved. So on May 8th, we're doing a cleanup project. So I'll go back to Travis Mannion. They're going to come in early in the week with Brightview Landscaping, and they're going to do the real rough work, because during the winter beats up that island, and you know it gets flooded and all that.
Right.
And there's trees down. They're going to come in and pull all the weeds out, manicure around the bandstand and the pavilion, and then lay new mulch.
Okay.
And then we'll come in on, so that happened during the week, like Monday through Friday. I haven't got a locked in date on that. But what I'm concerned is on May 8th, that's just a Saturday, we're going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to go around and dress up everything else that needs to be done, especially around the Vietnam Memorial.
Okay.
Because that's the showcase. That
Right.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful, but
Yep.
we
It
need
is.
to bring it back to its glory. So we asked volunteers to come down if they like to help out, whatever, you know what I mean, rake, sweep, and get that island ready for Memorial Day, because we have to honor our fallen heroes on Memorial Day. And that's what we do down there.
That's what
The
Memorial
veterans and
Day is.
community comes together.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, the other thing, too, that you said was that May 1st, there's a car show going on.
Oh, yeah, so Red Horse Motoring Club has a car show the first Saturday of the month. So that's dubbed going to happen May 1st. It's 5 to 9. But usually the car guys, they're down there early.
Yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean? Them guys, they've been waiting for this all winter long. So they'll be down there probably around 3 o'clock. You know, we're going to block the streets off. So this year the borough nicely let us go from Manatoni Street.
Okay.
It's always, I'm not sure if it's either Evans Street or Franklin Street.
Okay.
Because it keeps growing every year because we
Yeah,
get so many
it's
cars.
much longer than
Right.
it was last year or previous years.
And you know, Pottstown's been a cruise capital since the 1920s. If you do the history on your history buff,
Right,
they've been
right.
cruising Pottstown for years. But the car show is what's going to happen on May 1st. You know, hopefully some of the businesses will be open down there. If not, we'll have food trucks down there and things like that. Just come on down and walk around. Let's patronize the business. This is the time to revitalize Pottstown. You
Yep.
know what I mean? With Veterans Island, you know what I mean? As a community, we can make it happen.
Right. And May 1st is going to be a great day because it's also the powwow, like we talked about, and it's Mayfair at Pottsgrove Manor.
Lots
So
going on.
We were saying before the show, within a 3 or 4 block radius, you'll be able to keep yourself entertained the entire day. Go to the car show for a little bit, walk over to the powwow for a little bit.
Well, no, you
and
got it
then
backwards. First, you go to the powwow.
Go to powwow
then
first.
Mayfair.
Yeah, because the powwow starts at 10.
Yes,
So you can go to powwow first.
right. And then Mayfair,
Then Mayfair.
which is at Pottsgrove Manor.
Right.
And then that's, I don't know if I have the time.
I don't
for that.
either.
It's in my big stack of news.
And there's a
over
couple
here.
of different events
Yeah.
at each one. Both
Yeah.
at the powwow and at Mayfair, there's a couple of different events
Yeah.
that you might be
and
interested
then,
in.
And then go downtown, get something to eat, walk around the car show. All
Go back-
day, all
Come
free.
on.
Back to the car
All
show.
free.
All free. Now, all of those organizations would
like a
very much
donation.
appreciate a donation. So go to Mayfair, drop $10 in their bucket. Go to
Right.
the powwow, drop $10 in the bucket.
Car
yeah.
show. Donate to
Still cheaper
Veterans
than a movie
Island.
and safer because you're outside.
So if you're a car guy, Chuck Harders is bringing this gentleman named Roy Ida. He makes these fantastic cars, and he's bringing apparently 5 of his show cars that are going to
Ooh.
be set up down there in front of City Hall. What's that called there at the water fountain there?
Smith Plaza.
Yeah, Smith Plaza.
They're going to be set up with Eastwood. Eastwood's one of their donators. Red Horse will be out there with a tent, and this guy named Roy Ida will have all show cars down there. You'll be able to talk to him, get an autograph, and and have a beautiful car show. The restaurants will be open.
Yeah.
It's going
Yeah.
to be a beautiful thing for Pottstown.
No kidding. I was just thinking between those 3 events, think about the probably thousands of people that's going to bring into town on that day.
Sure.
Each one of those events on its own could bring in people to town, but you got 3 major events going on in town within a 4-block radius on one day.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me there's nothing to do in Pottstown. Please come in my face and try to tell me
And
there's
we'll
nothing
tell you
to
you're
do.
a liar.
So speaking of that,
News.
news and events,
News and
I want to
events.
thank Mike Murphy for coming on the Veterans Island Project. Thanks
One of
for
my
your
favorite places in
support.
Pottstown.
Thanks for what you're doing for the community. Thanks for representing our veterans.
Yeah.
It's big work. It's hard work, and I'm glad there's somebody in our community who's doing it. And you live right here. You're a
You're
hood
OG.
rat like the rest of us,
Yeah.
right?
A writer in the
A
neighborhood.
hoodie.
But Veterans Island Project, or a lot of these nonprofit organizations couldn't survive without the volunteers and
Sure.
the donators. And from the bottom of my heart and from Kathy Prey, we thank everybody who came out last week at Red Horse Motoring Club, and especially Jerry Kiefer. He's an Air Force vet who did all the
Okay.
photography.
Right.
And let's just keep moving forward. I mean, it's beginning of the spring. We got a lot of projects coming up and events. And thank you very much.
No problem. Get yourself plugged in. Remember, you're on Facebook. If you like something that you hear, go search it on
Yep.
Facebook. If you
Yep.
want to talk to somebody, send them a message on Facebook. All right, news and events,
All right,
ma'am.
news and events. Of course, lots of folks. The verdict just came down in the Chauvin trial.
Yeah, I saw
guilty
that.
on all charges. So I have a feeling that's what all that
Could've
beeping and hollering was about.
Could've
So
been.
nice to see justice served. I'm going to try to go in order, in date order here, starting this weekend. On Sunday the 25th, there is a walk-in, no appointment necessary COVID-19 vaccination clinic at the Ricketts Center, 658 Beach Street. No appointment necessary. Anybody over the age of 16 is eligible. Just walk in 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ricketts Center. That is on Sunday the 25th. Also on Sunday the 25th, Spring Craft Show at the Alley. We were at the Alley on Sunday for dinner. We got those burgers from Sizzle.
I missed everybody.
So good. Yeah, they closed early, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was digging worms in
You were
Broadway's
digging
backyard.
worms.
Gearing up for
So
some
Spring Craft
crawfish.
Show at the Alley on Sunday the 25th from 10 to 3. Check that out. On Friday, April 30th, there is Legal Aid of Southeastern Pennsylvania is sponsoring a birth certificate and ID clinic. This is for folks that may not have a driver's license, that need an ID for various things. For
Like
example,
living life.
maybe voting.
Well, we
Getting
don't
on-
have a voter ID
No,
law
we
in
don't.
Pennsylvania.
But they can help you get a copy of your birth certificate and a valid legal ID. So that is, where is that?
I didn't see that. I just printed it out because I thought it was pretty interesting. It's
Okay, so it's on the
southeast,
moncopa.org
website.
website, but why am I not
and
seeing?
it's being because it's virtual.
Oh, it's virtual. Okay. So this is Legal Aid of Southeastern Pennsylvania. If you go to the montgopa.org website, which we love to talk about it because it's so easy to navigate, montgopa.org/community connections. So if you know of somebody that does not have a valid ID, that is maybe not able to do some things because they don't have an ID, you can hook them up with that. So that is a virtual, it says right there on the top, free virtual clinic, Friday, April 30th from 12 to 2.
People lose their identification for a whole lot of reasons, you know, and
sometimes you need a copy of your birth certificate.
people don't know how to get that.
Yeah.
They don't know how to obtain that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't have ID for one reason or another, and it's not necessarily their own fault.
Right.
But then there are people, for instance, that get incarcerated. When you get arrested and you're separated from all of your belongings,
Mhm.
and then you get locked up, your belongings don't always necessarily follow you.
Right.
It can get lost. Your wallet can get lost. The clothes that you had on when you got arrested can get lost or
Yeah.
misplaced.
Probably not a good idea to walk around with your original birth certificate or social security card, right?
No,
Keep those in a safe at home.
but think about some of the situations that people find themselves
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or
in.
they're,
and
they
it's
they have to
easy
move
understand.
quickly, or there's a fire, or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons.
There's a lot of reasons. Listen, I know a guy, one of my friends is a vet, one of my older friends is a vet, and tells a story about how his papers, when he came back from Vietnam, got lost. And he spent a month in San Diego waiting for his papers to catch up to him. He had no papers. Fortunately,
to prove who he was.
he had no papers to prove who he was.
Right.
They were going to send him back. But fortunately, when he went into the office, the one office, to talk to the guy, one of the clerks in the office recognized him from boot camp.
Wow.
It's the only thing that saved his ass from getting sent back to Vietnam because he had no papers. He lost his
That was
papers.
very serendipitous. Yeah. Yeah, so it happens.
It
happens. All right, we talked about May 1st. The Mayfair is from 11 to 1:30 and then 2:30 to 5. I don't know why there's a split time on that. Do you have to register?
I don't know.
All right,
They
go
might
to
have
the
different.
Pottsgrove Manor page and get the information on that. So that is Saturday, May 1st. The powwow, May 1st and 2nd at Riverfront Park this year, and that's from 10 to 5-ish. Indian time, as
Yes,
Ron
as Ron
called it.
Williams said.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad about saying it. He said.
Right. He said it.
He said it.
Just repeating it.
There's literally a place on High Street that you'll be able to stand and see all three events simultaneously. We'll have to find that
Well, you
location.
can go up in the tower at Phillies. You can go in the tower at the Phillies Firehouse and see the whole
just
thing
see the whole
panoramic.
There you go.
All right, Monday, May 3rd at 6 p.m., there is a Pottstown Community Action Open House at the 467 Walnut Street, which is Barth School. So it's at the Barth Community Garden. So go and see what our friend Tamara Charles and Pottstown Community Action are up to.
they're getting themselves organized so that they can tackle more projects around town. That's
got a lot
exactly
going
what's
on.
going on. They
Yeah.
got a lot going on.
Strive Initiative weekly. So David Charles, our friend from the Strive Initiative, is going to be the guest at the May 5th Rotary Club meeting. So if you are interested in going to that as a guest, reach out to Nicole Matz. You can contact Matt or I. We can put you in touch with our friends at the Rotary Club if you would like to go be a guest Wednesday, May 5th to hear the guest speaker, David Charles.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Either go to Facebook or Google and type in Pottstown Rotary Club.
Yep.
Or Rotary Club Pottstown.
Yeah.
It'll come up.
It's pretty easy.
You have to have an invitation, but if you
Yeah.
contact Nicole Vickers Matt, she's going to give you the invitation that you need to attend the meeting.
Very easy.
Super easy.
Speaking
And
of
guess
Mosaic,
how much that costs you? Hold on. Guess how much that will cost you.
Is it zero?
It's free.
Free.
I guessed right.
Come on.
Mosaic Community Land Trust has their garden tours. So that's this Saturday, April 24th, and July 10th, and September 18th. So you can go on all 3 tours for $50, or each individual one for $20 in advance, $25 the day of the tour. Those tickets are available at Eventbrite, but if you go to the Mosaic Community Land Trust web page or Facebook page, you can get the link to Eventbrite to get your tickets.
Yep.
See some beautiful gardens.
I also
both
put a
in
link.
Pottstown and in Boyertown.
Yes, it's both communities. And I also put that link on Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, so you can go back through the page that you're currently on watching the show and get a link to it as well. There's also a dinner that they're doing in combination with Gracie's.
Oh, yes.
If you want to get
lunch.
Is it a lunch?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can a tour ticket plus lunch at Gracie's is $50 per person.
Yeah.
Tips and alcohol not included. Food there is delicious.
The food there is phenomenal.
Joe Rusevich is reminding us that there are still tickets available for the Foundation for Pottstown Education show Godspell, which is also on May 1st. I don't know how you're going to fit it all in, folks.
In case you're looking around for something to do on May
So
1st.
those tickets are available until Thursday, the 22nd, which is 2 days from now.
Right on.
Tamara Charles says, thank you for maintaining the park and the veterans memorials. So
Tamara
thank
is
you,
a veteran. She's an Army vet.
I don't think I knew that.
Yep, you do now.
Calling all Pottstown School District parents, you know how you like to bitch and moan? Here's your chance to get involved.
Yes, that's
I mean,
right.
constructive criticism.
I like bitch and moan because there is some of that goes on in relation to the school district.
Stephen Rodriguez, who is the superintendent of schools, was our guest a couple of weeks ago, put a call out to Pottstown School District parents if you would like to be involved. Now's your chance. Put your money where your mouth is, folks.
Do it.
Walk the walk and talk the talk. They are doing comprehensive planning. So every few years, he says, they take a hard look at our programs and focus, building a roadmap for the next few years. We adjust and change our practice to try to get better. It's a 3-day commitment, June 8, 9, and 10. They provide lunch, coffee, and snacks, and will be COVID safe, of course. If you are interested, you can direct message Stephen Rodriguez on Facebook. If you cannot find Mr. Rodriguez on Facebook, message Matt or me or Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate, and we will put you in touch with Mr. Rodriguez if you would like to be involved in that. It is not so easy, folks, to be a planner of the school district and to architect what the strategic plan looks like. So here's your chance to express your concerns and to help be a problem solver.
I think that's the key in the whole thing that you just said. Help. Because they're looking for ideas and solutions.
Right. So if you are
think you have
thinking
one,
that the school district does not listen to the constituents, first of all, you're wrong. But here is your chance to participate.
and listen, if nothing else, you'll get a free lunch out of it.
Free lunch, coffee, and snacks.
I went and listen, the food at the school, no joke, is delicious. I went up there a couple of years ago because they had invited different people from the business community in order to provide some recommendations to the CTE program. And I was fortunate enough to be invited up there for that evening. The kids from the culinary program made
exceptional
this prime rib and mac and cheese and a salad. if you would have put it on a plate and told me it came from a local restaurant, I'd have believed you.
Right.
It was.
Yeah,
It was phenomenal.
They do a great job up there.
Phenomenal.
I've been involved when they've done their Chopped special up
Yeah,
there. I've been a judge on that, and it's just really impressive what the kids do.
So get involved.
Yep, and they'll be providing for the gala, for the May
gala?
1st, for the show, they're providing the box lunches for people that go to the show, and then they take their lunch away.
Yeah, I've gone to the gala in the past too,
I have
and
too.
The food at the gala is always really
Excellent.
good. Yeah.
Impressive. Charity auction at the library, that is on May 22nd. You can preview the chairs. They are exceptional, beautiful chairs. We were very proud to donate one. My friend and coworker Stephanie Windrum painted it, and it is lovely. And there looks to be about 20 chairs available. They're gorgeous.
Now, how are they? Are they doing that virtually somehow?
So
or how are they
the
doing
silent
that?
auction begins at the library today, the 20th, and continues Tuesdays until May 19th during their browsing hours. So their browsing hours are Tuesdays from 10 to 1. So you can put your name on the list for the silent auction. And then they take the chairs to the carousel on May 22nd. And the auction will be completed with the celebrity auctioneer, George Wasnock.
So
Great
there's
guy.
actually going to be an event then.
There from 12 to 3 on May 22nd. Food, drink, raffle baskets, and free rides on the carousel. I'm sure that they will be COVID safe. They've got those big giant doors.
Yeah, they can open it up.
Yep. Tickets for the event are $10 for adults, $5 for children 12 and under.
I went to the charity event last year and had a great time.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Really impressive.
And of course, I like to talk about food and drink. And once again, the food and the drinks that they had there were really
I like
good.
to talk about it. I like to eat it and drink it. All right. There is the COVID clinic, vaccine clinic at Bethel Community Church, 575 North Kime Street. You have to register for that through the Montco, PA site, and that's happening just about every day of the week for several weeks. They are giving the Pfizer vaccine up there. Plenty of vaccines, folks. Go get one. Police Fishing Derby on May 15th for kids 12 and under. Registration is at 7:30. Please use the King Street entrance. Let's see. May 15th is also not just only my birthday and the Fishing Derby, but it's the opening day of the farm. I'm sure that they've got some great vendors lined up, like they did last year.
There's so
much
stuff
going on. And also, we're having a 4th of July this year, folks. So let me just shout out.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we're coming down to the top of the hour, but we are very pleased to be able to present the 4th of July events this year. We've changed things up a little bit. Pottstown Go Forth is doing all of the fundraising for the Rotary Club of Pottstown Parade and for the Go Forth Festival. So the Rotary Club will present the parade from around 12 o'clock to 1, and then from 1 to 5, the festival will be happening downtown this year. We are doing the daytime portion of the festival downtown between Charlotte Street and York Street, and we're going to have kids events, kids activities, and bands, and the restaurants will be open, the beer gardens will be open, and we're really hoping to, we're going to have live music, showcase the downtown businesses and really bring some folks downtown and show off our downtown revitalization. And then the park will open around 6 o'clock for people to come in for fireworks. The fireworks show will be at 9 p.m., sponsored by Precision Polymer Products. Very thankful for their generosity. The kids' events are going to be sponsored by Reading Orthodontic, ROG Orthodontics. So we've got some very generous sponsors, and just stay tuned for more information, because we do have to put together a pretty comprehensive COVID safety plan for an event this big to make sure that we keep everybody safe while still presenting a very fun event. So
instead of being a park festival, it's going to be more like a street festival.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it will.
That'll be something different.
It will be something different. The park is enormous. You don't realize until you start walking around Memorial Park how big it is.
Yeah,
it's huge. And we really wanted to do something to drive people downtown. The businesses and the restaurants have been so just hammered over the last year with COVID, and they're just starting to get their stride back, and we really wanted to help showcase that and bring people downtown.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully the businesses will be open that day.
Yes, yeah, we did do an initial canvassing to make sure that the majority of them would be open.
Yes.
And those that were on the fence about being open, maybe now will change their mind, since we're going to be
make some money,
yeah.
get some people in.
Yeah.
And I think the other part of it too is with the King Street Bridge being out and everything. We talked about that too, and also in addition to what they're doing with the veteran stuff, it'll be easier to get in and out from downtown
it
than
is
it will
made
be the park.
so that there will be some challenges to traffic control because the bridge is out, the footbridge is out.
Yeah.
So getting people to the park for fireworks, just stay tuned. We'll be meeting with the police department next week to discuss the logistics for that. So
Nathan Lab from Colebrookdale Scenic Railroad is saying that the train is running for the 4th of July
great,
fireworks.
Nathan. We will be in touch. We literally just got our approvals last week, so we're scrambling now to get everything together. But we will be in touch to talk about your fireworks express that you've done in the past and that you will be doing this year. Great. All right, that's the news and events, folks.
Thanks for tuning in. It's 6 o'clock. That went quick, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did.
Yes,
And
sir.
fast. One more time, I'm going to thank Mike Murphy, Veterans Island Project. That's who is here to represent, and also Red Horse Motoring Club. Red Horse Motoring Club is found at the corner of 3rd and Hanover, the
Right up here.
former Ludwig Motors. You can find more information about Veterans Island Project by searching Veteran Islands Project on Google and Facebook. I did it last night. It's very easy to do. Mike Murphy, thanks for all you do for the community. Seriously, thank you. Thanks for bringing us up to speed.
No problem, sir.
I have no doubt in my mind that there will be some Porchtonians that get involved.
Yep. And we'll find that we'll get that form for purchasing a brick to help fundraise. So we'll find that form and we'll get it up, right, Matt?
Yes.
Or I'll send it to you. No
Excellent.
I have it. I just need to get it posted from my email up to the page, and I'll get that done tonight after the show. Let's close
Break
it
it
out.
down.
I'll break it down. I am Matt Green. I am your local real estate expert. Please call me when you need help buying and selling residential and commercial real estate. Now's the time to sell, and I can help you out here in Pottstown and the surrounding area.
If you don't like Pottstown, there's plenty of other people that would love to.
I can help you move out as quickly as I can help someone move in.
Right.
I'm here to help you with all of your real estate needs. Amy Wolf is the office manager at Wolf Baldwin and Associates. She's also the lady boss that hosts Porchcast Pottstown. Wolf Baldwin and Associates, bringing you fine legal service in the borough of Pottstown since 1973. I'm getting a frog in my throat. It's allergy season.
Oh, it's allergy season. Yes.
Anyway, we are Porchcast.
Let's talk soon.
Let's talk soon.
Would you like some water or another beer?
Another beer,
Some
please.
water.
Thanks for tuning in.